evening and welcome to the evening news. Making the headlines tonight, Anambra State government urges communities to protect public facilities in their areas. Organized private sector has to partner government to harness ICT potential. Nigeria Air Force jets kill more suspected bandits in Zamfara State. European terrorists quarantined in Mongolia over bubonic plague. My name is Chidima Oranwa, and now the detail of the news. State government has asked communities to protect government facilities in their communities. Governor William Biado made the call during inspection of Obago Mbauku Mwawala Obo Road. Government House correspondent Eji Kabana filed this report taken from our studios.
The Obago Mbauku Mwawala Obo Road is a 2.6-kilometer road with a 25-meter span bridge connecting three major communities. On arrival, cutting and drainage work was ongoing on the road, which directly connects the permanent site of the NYSC camp, which has almost been completed. Governor Obiano, who asked communities across the state to take ownership of government infrastructures in their localities, warned against burning items on asphalted roads or dumping of refuse into drainage channels, noting that his physical presence on the site has made him appreciate its terrain the more. The governor pointed out that the present government is resolute in doing roads that connect communities, adding that his government will link other agrarian communities in the remaining years of his administration.
What we are doing in Anambra State, we would like to do roads that link communities. So this very road, 2.8, is linking three communities, Mbuku, Umawolo, Obu, and these are majorly agrarian communities. And more importantly, this road leads to the permanent site of the National Youth Service Corps members.
The Commissioner for Works, Engineer Marcel Ifejiofo, had earlier disclosed that the soil on the terrain is loose, which explains the reason it took time to reach the present level, stressing that the contractor has been fully mobilized and added that the communities are giving them necessary support.
We have a 25-meter span of bridge, 25-meter length of bridge, which they are doing here. This bridge gave us a lot of wahala because the soil is too loose. At the time, we have to stop the work and invite laboratory testing, material testing lab to come and investigate. And now we're okay, the road is ongoing.
The contractor handling the project, Engineer Hygienus Okeke, explained that the plan is to carry out all projects together, assuring that the bridge will be completed in 2 months' time as the materials have been released.
The road construction is ongoing, then the train simultaneously, then the bridge as well. The plan is to carry all the projects at the same time so I can meet up. You can see from there's a lot of cutting along the road, and we're really facing it according to the specifications.
The traditional ruler of Mbauku, Igwe Peter Anugu, the Anglican Bishop of Oka, Right Reverend Alexander Ibezim, as well as the President General of Mbauku Community, Chief Ozemena Onyiloka, thanked the governor for his investments in the community, describing it as governance at grassroots.
The Minister of Communication, Dr. Abdulrahim Adebayo Shitu, says the federal government is committed to ensuring that the ICT sector realizes its full potential as a viable alternative to the diversification of the economy. Dr. Shitu made this known during the second phase of the sensitization workshop on National ICT Roadmap for the Southeast region held in Oka. Correspondent Chibuzo Okoye now reports.
The sensitization workshop has its theme as the role of the private sector in the implementation of the Nigerian ICT roadmap. Delivering his keynote address, the minister explained that without effective involvement of the private sector in the implementation of the roadmap 2017 to 2020, its efficacy as a tool for harnessing the potentials of the sector will end up in mixed results, as efficiency, expertise, and speed can go a long way in complementing efforts in the development process. Dr. Chitu maintained that the sensitization program has been deliberately planned by the ministry as part of its roadmap engagements in furtherance to its desire to broaden continuous consultations with stakeholders in the private sector. He added that Nigeria now boasts of 152 million active telephone lines, which are more subscribers than the United Kingdom, as well as 97 million connections to the internet, which places the country to have 107% teledensity.
Service providers and other stakeholders from 2001 till date is in excess of $42 billion.
Speaking on behalf of the Anambra State Government, the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Solochi Ulobelu, said that the workshop is timely and affirmed that the Willie Obiano administration is highly ICT compliant in its day-to-day activities and urged the federal government to revive the nation's energy sector, as ICT cannot thrive very well without adequate power supply.
The importance of ICT in the modern world cannot really be overemphasized. I think for some of us that spent quite a considerable period of our lives working overseas, coming home after 33 years to live and work in Nigeria has actually shocked me. It shocked me to see how far behind we are in everything.
The Anambra State Commissioner for Tertiary Education, Science and Innovation, Professor Teresa Nkechi Obiekezie, in her address pointed out that in moving towards knowledge-driven society, there is increased recognition that technological advancements and innovations has enhanced the speed and the intensity of globalization and liberation of all sectors of the economy. Goodwill messages came from the Nigerian Communications Commission and the NIPOST, among other relevant organizations, while the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Digital Entrepreneurship, Mr. Ifeanyi Aniago, equally attended the workshop. In Oka, it's been Chibuzo Okoye for ABS News.
All is now set for the establishment of a rehabilitation center for children in conflict in Umunze, Orumbasa local government area by the Anambra State Government in collaboration with European Union back to rule of law and anti-corruption ROLAC. To this end, the Umunze community donated a large expanse of land and a one-story building for easy takeoff of the center. Correspondent Amaka Chibuzokoye has details.
The establishment of the rehabilitation center is inspired by the need to separate minors convicted for various crimes at the court from other prison inmates so as to get them rehabilitated and become useful to the society. Speaking after inspecting the site, the Commissioner for Women Affairs, Children and Social Development, Lady Ndidimezue, said they had raided the streets, picked minors who needed to be rebuilt for a brighter future, but have the challenge of accommodation, expressing joy that with the center they will get it right and have the streets sanitized. Lady Mezue, who appreciated ROLAC for being supportive and the traditional ruler of Umunze, Igwe Promise Eze, for the donation, stated that Governor Obiano, through her ministry and other relevant ministries in connection with the center, will start off with perimeter fencing of the site, which will house so many complexes to make it conducive.
When we go on raid and pick all these our children that are and other persons that are in conflict with the law, we don't have a place that we can keep them. But you can see today, it is a reality. So I want to thank ROLAC in a special way for their support.
The state coordinator, ROLAC, Josephine Honor, said that one of the components of their work is seeking to support issues around women, children, and persons with disabilities. Stated that they are seeking for the implementation of the state's child rights law, which prompted the erection of the Correction Center for Rehabilitation of Children in Conflict, and pledged their total support.
One of the components of our work is seeking to support issues around women, children and persons with disability, and we have a legislation under that area of work, which is the Child Rights Law of Anambra State that was promulgated in 2004. Since this law came into being, the implementation has been quite challenging. Then ROLAC came on board now, and took it up as one of the areas that we want to support.
On his part, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Women Affairs, Dr. Azuka Ofomata, described the center as a welcome development as, according to him, it will house the children for remolding, skill acquisition, formal education, counseling and rehabilitation for their absorption into the society.
We intend to look for ways in helping them, trying to find people in vulnerable that are around here, persons with disability that can work in this establishment.
For the President General, the Progressive Union, Mr. John Akanyonu, all the parties in the community unanimously gave out the land and a story building to the state in support of Governor Obiano's developmental plan, expecting the employment of their people at the center. In a remark, the rural consultant to the project, Mr. Ifedora Orakwe, assured that from the action plan, the project will be completed in 1 year, stating that it will be a complete full-fledged secondary school in giving the children another chance in life. From Umunze, Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
Thank you, Amaka, for that beautiful report. The Anambra State government has promised to partner pharmacists in the state to raise healthcare delivery to an enviable level. The Permanent Secretary, Office of the Secretary to the State Government, pharmacist Ima Udabe, gave the assurance at a reception for the National President of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Mazi Sam Ohuabunwa, who visited the state on a 3-day working visit. Ekwi Ajide has the rest of the story.
Pharmacist Udabe urged his colleagues to give their best as he would. The national president in his speech said he chose Anambra as a spot of call after his inauguration to thank and showcase his love for them. He promised that his administration will be beneficial for all pharmacists and Nigeria at large, since it has mapped out programs that will promote peace, unity, and sophistication in the union.
Medicine is in wrong hands, and people are accessing it for good and for bad. Today there's abuse, there's misuse, all kinds of things are happening. This time that God has allowed us to be president, working to make sure when we rotate matters, puts a little bit of control over who accesses medicine.
The traditional rulers the group visited were the Obi of Onitsha, Igwe Alfred Achebe, his Ogidi counterpart, Igwe Alex Onyido, who is also a pharmacist, and that of Omo, Igwe Chris Chidume. The royal fathers harped on the need for professionals to be good ambassadors of their various professions and charged the pharmacists to dare to be positively different.
I thank the national president of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, who led the team to do us homage. I thank him immensely. He has been a man I know, though from a distance. I called him my teacher.
Welcoming the national president and his entourage, the Anambra State Chairman of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, pharmacist Patrick Obidemma, expressed joy as the choice of Anambra as the president's first official visit and promised him a safe and pleasant stay.
A great privilege having you in our midst. We pray God Almighty will continue to guide you. And we know that being the president of PSN, you have a lot to do. And Anambra State, we hope, will equally benefit a lot from you.
Earlier, the national president and his entourage were received at the chairman of fellows, Chief Matthias Anoho's home in Onitsha, where he was presented with a traditional attire by the fellows. Ekwi Ajide, ABS News.
The Nigerian Air Force NAF says its Air Task Force ATF for Operation Diran Mikiya, set up to combat banditry, has killed 20 bandits in Zamfara State. NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibukinle Damarlo, who made this known, said the NAF operation also destroyed the camp of a major kingpin Alhaji Lawal, and killed his fighters near Rugu Forest in the state. Daramola said that the attack took place following intelligence reports indicating that the notorious kingpin was camping along with dozens of his fighters at a settlement about 4 kilometers west of Rugu Forest, where he keeps his logistics, supplies, coordinates operation and launches attack against security forces as well as innocent civilians. And now business news. The Corporate Council in Africa has said it plans to advance trade, investment and business engagement between the United States and Nigeria. In a statement, it said that some of Nigeria's wealthiest businessmen share their current business objectives and expansion efforts across Africa with the CCA. It stated that the CCA, a Washington, D.C.-based organization, is a U.S. business association focused solely on connecting business interests between the United States and Africa. Tourists and residents in the Mongolian city of Uji have been stranded for almost a week by a quarantine put in place after 2 people were believed to have died from the bubonic plague. The victims, a couple both reported to be in their 30s, are said to have contracted the disease by eating raw mammoth meat. A suspicion arose over the cause of their deaths. The Mongolian Ministry of Health initiated a quarantine over the area, which included the western city of Uji, near the border with China and Russia. Flights into the cities were also diverted or cancelled, and a Mongolian-Russian border crossing was temporarily closed. Among those under quarantine were a number of European tourists from Russia, Switzerland, and Netherlands and Germany. And now sports. The Nigeria Immigration Service NIS and Nigerian Police Force FCs have qualified for semi-final of the ongoing Security Challenge Cup after their respective encounter. The opponent, the Department of State Security, DSS, and prison officers. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo was there for the ABS and now reports.
The Security Challenge Cup is a football tournament being organized by the state government through the Anambra State Sports Development Commission for security agencies in the state as a way of appreciating them for their efforts in ensuring safety in the state, as well as help them to fraternize with each other. Nigeria Immigration Service FC qualified for the semi-final match after playing 2-2 draw with the DSS FC, who lost their previous match, while Nigeria Police Force FC qualified after their opponent, the Prisons Officers FC, could not show up in their match that was supposed to be played at the Government Technical College Oka Playground. The NIS and DSS match, which took place at the Paul University Oka, attracted men of the 2 security agencies in their numbers who came to cheer up their teams. DSS FC scored their 2 goals in the first half of the game, while the NIS scored 1 goal in first half and the equalizer in second half. Speaking to the ABS, the chairman, Anambra State Sports Development Commission, Mr. Tony Oli, explained that the tournament is part of the state's football season, which is aimed at repositioning the sports sector and discovering untapped budding talents in the sector, adding that the state government aims at creating an avenue of relaxation for the security officials who he noted had helped the present administration in making the state the safest in the federation. Mr. Oli disclosed that the agencies that will participate in the semi-final of the game that will be played on the 14th of this month are the Road Safety, Nigeria Immigration Services, Nigeria Police Force, and the Civil Defense Corps.
It's tagged Security Challenge for all the security agencies. You know, the idea is to give them also a window to relax. We'll be doing a lot of work in Anambra State, keeping the state safe, at the safest state in Nigeria, courtesy of His Excellency, the Governor of Anambra State.
In a remark, the sports officer of the NIS, Anambra State Command, Oka, Mr. Chibuzo Ngenebo, expressed happiness on the team's qualification for the next match, saying that he will retrain his players and devise more tactics that would enable them win the semi-final and final matches, respectively.
We've been training, preparing ourselves. So today's match will make me to go back to my drawing board and strategize new skills
to see my team in the finals, and we are heading to the finals. We are lifting the trophy. Anambra State will know that Nigerian immigration will rule Anambra for the Security Challenge Cup.
From Paul University, Oka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
And that's it on the news. But before we go, a quick reminder that you can follow news and programs on ABS from many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV online. Follow us on Twitter at ABS Radio TV and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And now the recap of our major stories. Anambra State government has urged communities to protect public facilities in their areas. Organized private sector has been asked to partner government to harness ICT potential. Nigerian Air Force jets have killed more suspected bandits in Zamfara State. European tourists have been quarantined in Mongolia over bubonic plague. And that's the news tonight. Many thanks for watching. My name is Chidima Oranwa. Do have a wonderful night rest.